Biaheza is taking over finance YouTube, and Graham Stephan is helping him do it. It's absurd, but this takeover story can be likened to Microsoft and Google, where Bill Gates was positioned to own the internet as he rode the Windows wave, but lost to Google for three main reasons. History seems to be repeating itself, this time with Biaheza on top. So why is this happening, and how will he dethrone the finance guru? Now, we know that Graham got rich via real estate and mainly YouTube over the course of a decade, but Biaheza attained his wealth in just 6 years through Instagram account flipping and dropshipping. Of course, this already arguably gives him an advantage, as he was incredibly young when he started making serious money for his age, which makes him relatable in terms of how old he is, but it also enables him to be a role model for young entrepreneurs. And this relatability would come in handy when Biaheza would start his YouTube career. After his dropshipping phase, he didn't stop and quickly applied his marketing tactics from Instagram to drive explosive growth on YouTube. One of his tactics that proved to be successful was simply commenting on YouTube, trying to be the top comment underneath high-performing videos in his niche. So why is this an example of how he will outgrow Graham Stephan? Why have Biaheza's videos been performing so well? The reason we support and watch creators is not necessarily because we like them, it's actually because we like their creativity, and as covered in my Rise and Fall video, Graham lacks this very creativity. After his credit card phase, he has evolved and adapted his channel to be the Federal Reserve and Housing Market Update channel, continuously posting the same content repackaged with different titles and thumbnails. It's why his output is so high and his consistency so solid, but does it allow him to create quality content? Not so much. Biaheza, on the other hand, is a breath of fresh air in the finance space, doing something different in every video but still relating it to making money, and this is the first key that will allow him to climb to the top very quickly. Biaheza has created a niche inside of a niche. He's opened the idea of finance content from talking head and informative to an entertaining story that has different takes on things like stocks, business, and crypto. Every video is different, every title is intriguing, and every thumbnail is eye-catching. When you click on a Graham video, you already know exactly what you're going to see. A 2-minute intro giving us context into the economic market over the last couple of years, followed by the only interesting part of a video, the segment where he actually covers what's new in the world, before he trots on back to his tiresome advice of just,
so throughout 2023, I'll continue investing about 35% of my income throughout the S&P 500.
And if Graham's feeling really frisky, he might even recommend putting a monstrous 4% of your net worth into crypto, although he's been suspiciously quiet about that piece of advice over recent months. As for viewers, it isn't just the type of content, but what the content entails that entices us and keeps us watching, and Biaheza varies his content constantly, making sure his viewers are always excited to see his next video. Graham Stephan, on the other hand, does not. And this is where creativity and content creation comes in, something Graham seems to be an expert in. Now, of course, I'm joking. Graham's content is talking heads, and he only changes camera angles in videos where there isn't any B-roll. If he's feeling adventurous, Graham might even show you a screenshot of an article he's talking about with a slow zoom over the top. Crazy stuff, I know. Biaheza, on the other hand, changes location regularly, going hours out of his way just for a simple shot that lasts a few seconds on a single video. He adds humor to the content in the form of memes and funny edits, and he also does small things like relating a quirky comment that he pins to the video and asking people to hit the like button. I guess this is the perfect moment for me to do the same, so smash that like button and subscribe for more videos like this. Now, how does this compare to Graham's plugs for interactions in his videos though?
Although before we start, as Mariah Carey would say, all I want for Christmas is for you to hit the like button or subscribe if you haven't done that already.
Biaheza's editing is also optimized like Graham's for attention, but still flows extremely well. The flow is essentially his storytelling, which is clearly a skill he has mastered over time and something that Graham just doesn't have. Of course, that's the result of basing your content on the current financial news and just using clickbait thumbnails. That's the main reason Biaheza's rise is so evident. Every factor in his success complements the other, and in Graham's case, all his flaws snowball into one big recipe for stagnation and a boring channel. Kind of like in a team environment where if one player isn't optimized, it affects the performance of the group as a whole. The lack of variance in Graham's case and the huge variety in Biaheza's content translates to their creativity in content creation. But there is a third factor involved, arguably the biggest reason why Graham will lose to Biaheza in this financial war for attention. Money. YouTube is an online business, and like every other business, the more you risk, the more you stand to make. It's clear that although Graham leveraged his money in real estate fantastically, that hasn't translated to his attitude to YouTube. Mr. Beast himself advised Graham to take more risks and innovate as part of being more risky. His main example being to add an element of risking money in his videos, something that would spark emotions and keep viewers more engaged, and there are clearly viewers who want this, something different and not the same content again and again. Graham, of course, said, "Nope." But Graham doesn't even need to go that far. He doesn't need to put $500,000 on the line for a video or buy a failing business for $20,000 like Biaheza did. He just needs to invest 5% of his earnings into the...
If you invest in the S&P 500.
If Graham would just hire some people who are actual professional editors or creative thinkers, his content could really take a step up. Biaheza has decided to make this a large part of his videos, risking thousands of dollars on creative money-making challenges like shorting stocks by options trading or outsmarting a crypto shoe running company into paying him hundreds of dollars a day by using multiple accounts. The key aspect is here to add an element of risk, something the viewer can resonate with and keep them invested in the story of the video as a whole. Of course, that's just not possible for Graham when he doesn't want to risk his cash cow and is content with the quality of content he's farming. Of course, I can see why he might want to protect his most productive and profitable channel, but he could easily create another one, decrease the main channel's upload frequency, and make engaging content. Now, I'm certain that many Graham viewers will disagree with me saying that he is providing up-to-date news and his views and subscribers are clearly higher than Biaheza, and while yes, he may have more subscribers is just a legacy of the old style of YouTube from 10 years ago when there was no algorithm and people would find videos by subscribing to a channel and checking their feed each day. If you take a look at Graham's views to subscriber ratio, and now look at Biaheza's views and subscribers, it's not even a competition, and views are actually what bring in the dough. Another point I've seen Graham supporters make is that he's seen his peak because he's been producing for so long. Well, actually, so has Biaheza, and it's clear he hasn't stopped growing and expanding to new audiences, so why has Graham stagnated at the 300,000 to 500,000 view mark for most of his videos over the last 2 years? From a business point of view, it's clear who Biaheza has been replicating and why he has continued this method of content production, and he didn't do this from the start. At first, Biaheza also created content centered around himself as well as the Instagram and dropshipping niche he originated from, but he pivoted and is now raking in the rewards. Meanwhile, Graham continues to make mistakes, many more than just the 3 mentioned in this video, so go and check out exactly why he's been falling off recently with this video right here.